Hi there fabric jugglers, it's Babs here from MyFieryPhoenix, and today I'm going to be taking you through how to construct a corner to corner blanket. I will show you not on something that's quite as large as this, but I'll show you on something that's about 9 squares large, which will be sort of this portion here. I'll show you how to cast on, how to create the individual blocks, which are, let's see if we can get this close to the camera so you can see the actual blocks that we'll be creating. So block, 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 and the blocks are actually attached on the corners, which is why it's called corner to corner crochet. Now I'm showing you how to do this, one because it's a fun, fast repeat, which makes it nice and easy for you to create at home, but also because that is the basis that I use for, and not just myself, but is used for Grafgan or graft pixelated designs. So this is the spider from my my upcoming Halloween cow, but the technique is the same whether you're using corner to corner to have a solid colorway, or to have stripes, or to have squares, or to have something more complicated like this design in the middle. But before you can get to that point, you need to understand how to create the corner to corner style in the first place. So that's what this tutorial is about. So grab a hook and I'll show you how we do that. So we're going to start our corner to corner squares by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're then going to create treble crochets, 4 down from the hook or 3 up from the bottom. So it's down to you which you find easier to count. Some people find it difficult to work out where the first stitch is after the hook, so they count up from the bottom, which is 1, 2, 3. Pop the hook through, and we're then going to create some trebles. So we have the 3 and the yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. If you need to have the treble stitch explained in more detail, I have a tutorial for that, which I will pop a link to down below. And what you will end up with once you have created your 3 trebles is a rather strange looking rectangle, but once everything else is in place, these will even out quite nicely. You've got the curved edge where you've got your chains in place of a treble, and then you have 3 standard trebles after that. So we're then going to chain 6 to move on to row 2. Each of our rows is counted in the blocks. So we have 1 block, that is 1 row. The next time we create a series of blocks, that is the 2nd row. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm guessing the postman's arrived. Sophie's getting a bit noisy. And then 3 from the end. 1, 2, 3, and then we can pop in our hook and start making our next batch of 3 trebles. And this is all we're going to be doing. You'll be using a slip stitch when you reduce your row count, and you use a chain when you're increasing your row count, and then the rest of the time you simply work trebles, and that's all that you need to do. So this really is a very, very beginner friendly process once you've got your head around how to join everything together. So you've got your two bunny ears, it looks like, and what we need to do is actually insert these together. So we will turn one over itself, and then we will hook in, which is the equivalent of turning a row, but as we haven't turned the row, this is the simplest way for me to describe how to then get that rotation that you need. So you will now have one with the curve end pointing off to the side, and one with the curve end pointing up to the sky. You've inserted your hook through the chain space that's created at the end, and this is your first row. This is the first block of the 2nd row, and we're now going to create the 2nd block in the 2nd row. So we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to treble another 3 in this gap. So that's 1, 2. Oh, I've just realised it's the bin men, it's our bin day. 3. That's what Sophie's barking her head about in the other room. It's not the postman, so it might last for a little while. I apologise for that. Okay, so there we have 2 blocks for our second row, 1 block for our first row, and then we will rotate. Do another 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 from the far end, and then fill in the gap with another 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. So you've now created that very familiar block, and what we're going to do is now join it. So we're going to turn and we're going to join it corner to corner here, inserting our hook in that 3 chain space, slip stitch straight through, and you can now see that we've got our three columns starting here. So we'll continue on, chain 3, and then create another set of trebles in that chain space. So it's 1 treble, 2 trebles, 3, and you can see these are now forming blocks that are more recognisable, and then we're going to join this corner to corner here. So we do a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then another 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, we now have this this corner created, and we've got 1, 2, 3 rows of these blocks. So what I'm going to do now is close this off and show you how we then create a decrease. We've now increased our row count, so now we're going to decrease it as we close this down. So we're going to turn our work and slip stitch. I just take 2 slip stitches along the side, and then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and you can probably guess what's coming next. In this chain 3 space, we're going to now do another 3 trebles to give us the first block of this 4th row. And of course we won't leave it hanging out on its own. We're going to pull it up, round and chain space, slip stitch into the corner, which as you can see brings it in nicely. So we're going to then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to then create our 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, and again we're going to join those in on our corner into the chain space, slip stitch that through. So we now have 1, 2, 3 corners created, and we just have one last stitch to do, one last block to do rather. So we're going to slip stitch along the edge as we did before, so that we can get to our last block. Don't pull it too tight, make sure you've given enough room for some movement there. And then what we will be doing is chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and then as always we're going to do our 3 trebles in the 3 chain space, 1, 2, 3. And for the very last time for this example, we're going to be slip stitching through that 3 chain space to join the corners together, and I will be tying off. So I pull it through one last time, snip away, pull the knot tight, and there we have our 3 by 3 square created using corner to corner methods. So hopefully this video has been useful to you, and if it has, give it a thumbs up, share it around with your friends, and come back again for the next in this series, which will show you how to change colours. Now that you've learned how to increase and decrease, I'll show you how to change colours between, so that we can get these delightful patterns and make the most of the graphs that are going to be out there, not just from myself but from other designers as well. Hopefully I'll see you next time around. Bye for now.